Okay, we're back. Ask Me Anything, episode 198. It is 4 p.m. Belgian time. You guys know the drill. Come on in, ask me anything, and I shall do my very best to offer you my perspective, my advice, my input, my opinion, or I'll just tell you that I don't know. I don't know. Could be both. So, we already have two people. Hopefully, some good questions today because I'm not in the mood for small talk. What's up, Marley? You got something good for me? Should I go light or heavy? Always go heavy, man. Always. Anytime, any context, any situation. Take the heavy road, take the heavy way. You know that, man. Kragan, what's up? I'm great. Just got done coaching a few clients, did legs this morning, and I'm a little bit tired, I'm not gonna lie. But that's usually a good sign. Means that we're heading in the right direction. The thing about if you're working with your brain all day, it can be quite taxing. What's up, Lyric? Lyricist. How to quit video gaming addiction. I keep escaping real life because it's bad and I feel overwhelmed. Where to start to make changes? Addiction is super hard, especially something like video games. The first thing I would tell you is to try and get rid of your video games. Deny yourself accessibility to them. If they're there, if they're just the consoles ready to play and the games are on the living room table, you'll be playing any day, anytime. So you need to do that first. Like go start them at a relative's house or something like that. Secondly, it's important to try and track your progress in terms of you overcoming your addiction. So, a very easy way of doing that is you take a piece of paper, you take a black marker, and you just put on a line in the middle, you know? And then the second day that you don't play video games, you're allowed to draw a circle on top of it. Now, what you have is the beginnings of the flower, right? So every single day that you add of not playing video games, you're allowed to add a leaf to the flower. That'll remind you of the progress you've made, and that'll remind you that your work is not done, you know? So obviously, draw small leaves until you have the complete flower. And by the time you have the complete flower, use that as a token of your achievement and don't slip back in. I found that with addiction, the hardest part is like overcoming the first couple of days. That's when it's breaking that habit. That's when our mind is really tested and pushed to the limit. So those are a few practical things that I would advise you to do, Apollonius, to try and quit. Remove it and track your progress. Understand that a good start is absolutely essential and is everything. What's up, Vinny? What's up, Wagwan? We were talking yesterday about detachment and such. I recently started dropping that mindset, but old feelings of neediness have popped up in terms of romance. The sweet lady I know has been giving me drip feeds of attention, and damn does it have me hooked. So questions. How do I not feel needy, and why do I like being treated like that? Sounds to me like if you're describing it as drip feeds of attention, it sounds like you're watering a dead flower, meaning that you're putting energy and life and attention into something that doesn't really have that much interest in you. Only when she feels sad or lonely or in need of attention, she'll reach out to you. So the best thing to do in this situation is to kind of remove yourself from the situation, stop giving into it, and stop answering. Um, you're never gonna be in a good position when you're needy, man. Because women can pick up on that. She can sense that you're needy. She can sense that you're desperate, basically, and that she has the high ground. You'll never catch up. You'll never make up for that space. So, Marley, honestly, it doesn't really sound like you're ready to be with someone at all. And we should not treat people like life practice, meaning that I think it's better to first work on yourself before you try and go and chase this silly romance that is not going to work out. Fernando, yesterday was supposed to be my last day of my work. Don't know if I did the right decision by asking, doing part time for 1 month only. We're going to talk about this today. I really want to get my real estate license, and I feel like my job is getting in the way. I couldn't study last month, probably. Sounds like you did the right thing, man. You created space and time and an opportunity for you to be able to actually study and learn to get your real estate license. So trust in your judgment, see through. You already made the call, you already pushed the first domino. That's the hardest part. And I trust in the fact that this was the right call, man. Sounds like a great plan, honestly. Thank you for the tips. I quit today. Apollonius, check in every day with me. Remind me how it's going. Trust me, man. A good start is everything. Just remove those video games and track your process. Once you have a streak that you've put together of clean days, you're not going to want to sacrifice that streak just to give in. Like that streak will hold real value. Less is more. Discipline is freedom. It'll make you feel better. Long time no see. Hope you're doing great. I'm good, man. What is the root cause of neediness in people? I mean, usually people who are needy, they have a hole on the inside that they are looking for someone else to fill. So it's basically like they're doing a lot of stuff for someone with the expectation of getting that stuff back. So it's not really an unselfish act of giving or being kind or being nice. It's all about creating leverage so the other person also has to give it back. And then when the other person inevitably inevitably does not reciprocate those things, then we can judge them and get angry, and we can, basically complain. That's what people like to do. It's like you're setting yourself up, you're setting a booby trap for yourself. And why does that happen? Why do people get needy and such? Because they don't really have anything better to do with their time. Most things come down to people just not having discovered what they like to do, not having found their purpose. So they choose to focus on relationships and love and talking to the other sex or the same sex instead. That's kind of the byproduct of media and movies and music and TV shows. Like we're just constantly bludgeoned to death by this idea that love and finding the one is everything. So a lot of people, they lack direction in life, they lack purpose, and then they're just like, well, if I just find the right person, it's all going to work itself out, which it never does, obviously. Thank you for the advice, sir. I feel like it really helps. Fernando, I think you made the right call, man. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I think it's a great plan. I would tell you if I didn't think so, but I think it is. Don't we all have needs, though? How do we balance getting those needs met versus being needy? Yeah, but there's a difference between having needs and being needy. Being needy particularly pertains to the context of being needy towards a person. That's a whole different thing. You should not do anything for a person or give anything to a person if you're doing that because you're expecting to get the same back. If that's why you're doing it, then that's on you. If you give, if you do something for someone, it has to be completely unselfishly and completely not no, it has to be completely selflessly and unselfishly, and because you want to do that, not because you want to create leverage, so they have to do something back for you. That's the difference. We have a bunch of needs, but for those needs, we usually don't need another person to fill those. Like we can take care of that on our own. And if you're needy, you're never gonna, a person is never gonna be with you. A high value person is never gonna want to stick around if you're needy, because it's the most Desperation and neediness is so unattractive. It's so it stinks, literally. It's disgusting, you know? Someone that is always available for you is like, no. Why do people worship the sun? Why are we so obsessed with the sun? Because it disappears every day. It leaves us every day, you know, because of the seasons. Also, and it's the same with people. Just don't focus too much on making relationships and love the missing piece to your puzzle. Do you agree with the commonly held belief that women use their feelings to guide them in decisions and then use their logic reason? Um, I think men use their feelings a lot too, and I think men tend to put a rational coating on their feelings, as to convince themselves that they made a rational and logical equation. I think most human beings act on emotion. The worst part is when we call it instinct. There's a book about that, a really good book, Thinking Fast and Slow. You can Google it, Thinking Fast and Slow, and it explains the psychology behind how we kind of fool and trick ourselves into believing that we were being logical and rational, but really we're just trying to, you know, get somewhere where we want to be. Us human beings are very good at tricking ourselves and lying to ourselves. I think in that regard, maybe women are more honest. Also due to the cultural aspect that women are more allowed to act on their emotions because it's kind of like a stereotypical thing. So they can be more honest towards themselves, like, yeah, I'm just following my heart, I'm just following my gut, my intuition. And then we like to come up with all these reasonings as to why it's okay to do something. There's not a lot of really, there's not a lot of true rational people out there, guys. The real question is, how do I wake up with motivation for work? Your motivation has to be that you're gonna make money so you can spend that on getting your real estate license. Like, it's just a necessary evil. Like, you motivation is a luxury that you can't afford, man, if you want to get ahead in life. If there was a way to become motivated, then everybody would use that way, and then everybody would accomplish everything. That's the whole thing, man. Like, success is what happens when you're able to accomplish something and do something even when you're not motivated. Let me ask you a question. Do you think I'm motivated right now? You can probably tell that today I'm nowhere near as motivated as I was last week, for example. Like, honestly, I can think of a million things I would rather be doing right now than to do this live. That's the truth. That's honestly, like, I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to make a point. Like, that's the truth. Like, I'm tired. I have a bunch more shit to do today, and I don't feel like doing this. But I've told myself that I would. This isn't my planning, so I'm doing it. And that's why I know I'm going to get there. I know that by me once again putting up another live session, I'm once again going to reach more people, get more emails from people that want to sign up and get my coaching or my mentorship service. So I'm putting in the work regardless of my emotional state because I understand that's what it takes. Like, that's why people always in the beginning when they start something new, they're hyper excited and it's fun and they love to do it. And it's like, wee, yeah, but that's gonna wear off real quick. That's gonna wear off with anything in life. Relationships too, women too, men too, friendships too, but you find out who you are in those down times. You really find out who you are. And if you're actually worthy of reaching your goal. What made you give up on a traditional career in a big company, as was your plan, and have a more alternative and independent lifestyle? How did you deal with family pressure? It's not that I had. It's not that I gave up. It's that I got cancer, and I was basically, like like barely alive for a good couple of, like, for like 5 years at least. I was a handicapped person. Like I couldn't really talk or properly eat, barely walk. So it wasn't like a question of do I go back? Now obviously I'm guessing you're trying to like then, like after I got back to a certain level of a certain quality of life, you could say, well, then you could go back to doing your typical career thing. Um, I was never fulfilled in those 9 to 5 jobs. I was doing it for the money. I wasn't doing it because I loved it or because it was my purpose. Me having almost died twice. I mean, it's a cliche, obviously, but I just kind of made that decision that I'm never going to do anything again that I don't really feel good about or feel good with. Don't confuse that for motivation. It doesn't mean that I'm always motivated to do this, but that's just life. I just don't really want to chase that typical 9 to 5, well, actually 9 to 8 career and just chase money and targets and sales targets and promotions. And also because, to be very frank, I see obviously I have a lot of friends of all walks of life, of very successful friends. I'm a very social guy. I never met a person. I don't know one friend who I would like to switch, trade places with. Meaning that all the people that I know that stayed healthy and went on to do sales, and some of them are millionaires, literal millionaires right now. I'm talking like, done. Like they got it all right. And they look like shit. They're all overworked. They've all done damage to their body that they cannot undo to get to that point. Because if you want to work, if you want to get there, you have to work crazy hours and you're not going to be looking after your health. There's no time to go to the gym every day or to eat healthy. So, like, I see a lot of people that kind of like that were doing the same thing that I was doing when I got sick, and I see where they are now, and I feel bad for them. Can you imagine that? I really do. So it's like, I would never want to go back to that. Like, why would I do that? Also, I don't think I don't think I have one friend that is in better shape than me right now. And I don't mean that from a vain perspective. I mean like I have come to grips and I have been faced with my mortality at a very young age. And I have felt and understood what's it like to not have your body properly function anymore. I've been in that position and I still am in that position. So that taught me that I'm not invincible. That taught me that my youth was not endless. That taught me that once you end up in a hospital bed, it can go, when it rains, it pours. Like one surgery after another. It's usually a domino effect because many different, parts of your body start acting up and stop working properly once you start cutting in one specific place. Took me a long time to make that like chain effect, that snowball effect stop, the domino effect stop. Like it's a real thing. They can start cutting anywhere, and so many small things can like it completely ruins the balance of your body and your health. And then before you know it, like you're sick everywhere. I've been there, and it's like holy fucking shit. I went in for this, and now I got this and this and this and this and this. I had so many side effects medically. So that's why I developed this obsession, with being healthy and with maximizing the health I had left and the muscle I had left and the body I had left. Because I want this body to carry me as far as it possibly can. I want to go on to be 100 years old. That's the whole purpose. That's my whole thing. Like I peek behind the curtain and it's like, it's not about money. It's not about, it's not about peaking at 35 and having a big house. It's about longevity. It's about making it as long as you can in a way that you can still enjoy life. I already have friends now my age that are not able to walk for 10 minutes. They get they get a suffocating feeling, their cholesterol is already too high, their joints start hurting. This is a real thing. So I'm in amazing shape. I want to get in even better shape. And there's simply no time for that if I would choose to go back to a typical like off this nine to eight job. And I say 9 to 8 because it's not 9 to 5. Never is. So yeah, I hope you like that answer, my man. Oh yeah, how do you do it? How do you deal with family pressure? Dude, family pressure is the hardest part because it's always like it's my family respects what I do the least because you know how parents are, like they just want you to like have a normal life and like choose the safe route. They don't really see the vision, which is normal because to them I'm their son. I'm not Luna Viking. I'm not Lorenz, the great speaker or philosopher or motivator, if you will. So they just a little play it safe. They also come from a very different generation and a mindset where they're very scared in terms of economics and running out of money and these things. And I'm not bothered by that at all. I can, I know I'll always make money. I'll always find a way to survive, especially with the internet. And I also understand that every time I make a YouTube video, every time I put some content out there, it's another, like I'm building my Taj Mahal. These things are going to be around forever. And the value of all of these videos and lives is only going to go up as time goes on. So, but still, it's tough to deal with it. Obviously, when you're if someone your family is disappointed in you, it feels like you're fucking up. But that's why you have to go it alone. Be strong, my friends. Hold the motherfucking line. Is there a way to ask for needs and desires to be met without being needy? Uh, no, because asking for a need and a desire to be met is automatically being needy, man. So, no. Why are you so fixated on what somebody else can do for you anyway? Why don't you try to get it for yourself? Why does somebody else have to provide you that? Why does somebody else have to give you love or affection or confirmation or motivation? Find that in yourself, man, and give it to others. And then it'll come automatically. But stop begging for it. That is sad and unattractive. What gets you fighting during cancer with thoughts or motivations get you alive? My ego, basically. I was like, this is not how my movie is supposed to end. I got more to offer to the world. And there's no fucking way I'm gonna die at 23, period. I don't care if I come out with no legs, like at least I'm still gonna do some crazy shit and go to Colombia and do some coke and have a great time before I, you know, throw myself in a ravine or something like that. Like I just didn't want to go out like that. I just knew there were too many things I still wanted to do. And just like a supreme and unrational self belief in the fact that I had something to give to the world. I convinced myself of that. I deluded myself of that, if you will. And here I am today. So maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right, but it got me through. So it doesn't really matter if I was right or wrong. I failed the exam 3 times. I'm currently retaking 2 courses to take the exam. I don't want to give up on this career. Thanks again. You're like my older brother I never had. Wow, man. That really moves me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's a very nice thing of you to say. Lucamification. Hi, man. How you doing since Tenerife, Luca? Oh, hey, man. What's up? What's up, Luca? You're the Italian Luca or the French Luca? Because there are two Lucas. Hey, so this guy right here, he was at the surf camp that I was at. I still have to edit the footage I made there. So as you all know, I went on a surf trip to Tenerife, and this guy right here, Lucinification, was there. Super cool guy. Well, both of you are cool. The French guy and the Italian guy. I did speak. Um, uh, so sorry. Let me answer your question, then. I'm good. I'm good. It was when I got back. It was rough. January was rough. So I'm on the 2nd of February, so that means I've had 2 good days. Now, all jokes aside, man, trying to make this thing grow, trying to grind away, trying to change my situation by working hard for it. But I've been good, man. What about you? What's up, stars on Mars? Some people also manage stress really well and can make bank and maintain physique and health. Yeah, and some people um can I was gonna come up with some like silly example, like that is true, but that is the vast minority. Like that's literally 1 out of 50 people. Like staying in shape, getting up at 5 a.m. to go hit the gym, to be at your job at 7:30, and get rich and all these things. Like, yeah, it is possible, but the people that I've met like that, I can count them on one hand easily, and I met a lot of motherfuckers. And even then, stars on Mars, those people, like some of the ones that can do that, seemingly, um, they use supplements. Let's put it like that. They do coke, motherfucker. Really though, like usually those be the ones that like a little bit of extra gasoline on the side. How are you? That sweater is awesome. Thank you so much. I love the sweater. It is nice. What the fuck did you do to your hair? Fuck you. If you could pick a time period to live in, which would you pick? This one, man. I think this is a great time. Now, if I could go and be witness of a certain time period, um, the Egyptian Empire, that would be dope. I've always feel like I was never good enough for anything. No matter how hard I try, I just barely get things done. While others can do it effortlessly, this gets me really down. Finny, there is no way in hell that all the people around you are just doing things effortlessly. What you're doing is you're focusing on the few people that are actually winning at life and doing great, and you're ignoring all the people that are just like you, not accomplishing shit. So it's kind of like this Instagram syndrome. So you're looking at life through this lens of like everybody around me is doing better than me. It's like no, it's just you're narrowing in on that. You're zooming in on that. Um, so first of all, stop worrying about the fact that you're not like what others are doing. That's the first mistake you're making. You're focusing on what others are doing and what people around you are accomplishing. Like no, why is it that you barely get things done? Because you're not interested in it. Because you lose interest. Like because it's not the thing you want to do. You need to figure out what it is that makes your clock tick. You need to figure out what it is that you truly want to do. Focus on that. Stop looking at others. What's up, Anya? How much do you earn from YouTube? Basically nothing, man. I like the YouTube views that I get. I mean, the money I get from my YouTube views is pennies, and I'm not saying like in a figurative sense, like pennies. I mean pennies, literally. Um, the days of making money with YouTube views are far gone. Unless you are making hundreds and thousands of views a month, then you can make real money. I'm getting 10,000s, I'm getting more than 60, 70,000 views a month. I'm making jack shit. So, um, no, I'm not making money from any of this at all. I do make money, of course, by my mentorship service. So I work with clients, people that usually find me through the channel, and they pay me to work with them. So I do video calls with them, video calls twice a week. They tell me what's wrong, and then we come up with a plan together on how to change that. I tell them very practically what to do, and I follow up on it on a daily basis. Speaking of that, anybody that wants to hire me and work with me, this is my email, lorenz.trees@gmail.com. Send me an email for coaching if you want to make it happen. How to be positive when you're short, because women sometimes just blatantly say they want men 6 foot and up. Yeah, and then also blatantly say that they want a girl that's slim with big tits and beautiful blonde hair. So it's all like relative. Oh, tutorial slave. Hey, thank you so much, man. Let's raise that penny count. Dude, this is the most massive, crazy donation I've gotten on here since I can't even recall. Easily the biggest in like 6 months. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you supporting me. And um, this completely confirms why, when you don't feel like doing something, you have to push even harder. Like I said before in this live, the last thing I wanted to do today was jump on and do a live, but I did. And look at me now. I just got a crazy 30 euro donation. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that more than I can really um, get across. Thank you. So yeah, so how to be positive when you're short, dude. Listen, who gives a fuck what women think? Women plural. You need one. It's the same with me. If I'm gonna attach my happiness to the opinions of the masses out there. Yeah, guess what? 95% of women, 99% of women, they don't want to date me because I got this crazy scar. I don't got bottom teeth. Of course, they don't want to date me. They're like, why would I date him if I can date a guy that doesn't have that and is probably more or less the same? Not knowing that there's no one like me. But that's neither here nor there. The point is this: all I need is one woman that's smart enough to see, hey, this guy is, yeah, he's got a selective scar, but he also has a very high emotional IQ. I can talk with him. He's much deeper and much more caring than most men, and he's absolutely jacked. So if I can convince one girl, like, hey, I'm actually underrated, that's it. You don't want to have so many options. Like, there's nothing worse than having a girl and then having a bunch of girls throw them at you, throw themselves at you. Like, that sucks because then you gotta not cheat. And then you're gonna start comparing and thinking, oh, every time you have a fight with your girl, you're gonna think, fuck, maybe I should have gone for that girl. Trust me, it's a shitty feeling, man. If you have a girl and you're committed, and then all these hot ass girls start throwing themselves at you, it sucks. It's the devil. Sounding like a preacher now. But really though, it sucks. That's not something I would wish on anyone. Because you have to be very strong and be like, you know, I'm not gonna do it, but it fucks with you. So my point is, you only need to convince one woman of you. I can guarantee you, there's a woman out there who doesn't give a fuck about your shortness and who will see you for the beautiful man that you are, Paul Nyes. Take that to the bank, playboy, and hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. Stop playing with me. Hail Viking, my mother passed over a year ago. I've only dreamed of her 5 times, 3 of which I didn't actually meet her, one of which she annoyed me, and the last of which I was convinced. Somebody kidnapped her and woke up in a sweat. Any thoughts on what that might mean? The kidnapping might be a metaphor for, life taking her away from you. Like somebody took her away from you, and that's kind of like how, you still haven't processed that trauma. The one where she annoyed you, I think that's beautiful. That's cute because you remember her in a realistic situation. I can imagine her in any situation where your mother, rest in peace, used to annoy you. So I think that's a very positive dream. And then 3 times where you didn't actually need her, I think, tutorial slave, that kind of indicates that you understand or you don't understand, which is where I'm making you understand that she's still here. She's literally living on through you. Her DNA is literally in you. She carried you in her womb. She made you out of her flesh and her blood. That's you. So you're literally a part of her that got severed, like you're a mini mom. And I think that's kind of what that dream is trying to tell you, man. She lives on through you physically, but also spiritually through your actions. She raised you. She instilled her values and morals into you. So how you treat people on a daily basis, how you present yourself, how you make a positive difference in this world is how you honor her and is how you really keep her legacy alive and keep her alive literally. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I know you're not a psychologist, psychotherapist. What do you mean? I'm a YouTube goddamn expert, motherfucker. But a fresh set of eyes would be greatly appreciated. Well, I hope you appreciated my input. That's what I got. If you had to spend a year completely alone, what would you do and how would you fill your time? I would do a bunch of motherfucking lies all day. Lift weights. smoke weed, walk in nature. Shit, I just described my everyday life. I guess I'm already living alone, huh? Yeah, it would just be more of that, basically. I would vlog about it. You're liking, you're doing great. You're helping a lot of people from loneliness. Thank you. Thank you so much. I got you the tutorial. Amen. Don't forget what I said. I meant that shit. Like, she's still here, man, living out through you. It's a real thing. You got me in my feelings now, man. Feeling a little bit emotional. My confidence drops when someone asks about my facial imperfections. Well, I mean, obviously that happens to me too. What can I say about that, man? Why don't you try to work on the things that you can control? Like, obviously, if you have facial imperfections, that sucks. But why don't you sign up to the gym, feel better about the rest of your body? It can greatly help. It helped me. Jules, I guess I'm the odd woman out because I find men's physical imperfections to be very attractive. I don't want perfection, just my opinion. Jules, I see you hitting on me. All right. And you're lucky because I'm single, so I'm going to allow it. Hey, guys. Um, I am still taking on new clients, like I said. So this is my email. If anybody is trying to hire me and turn your life around, lorenz.reese@gmail.com. Hit me up. We are 36 minutes in. I just want to say thank you again to Tutorial Slave for his crazy 30 euro super chat donation. The biggest one I've had in months. So thank you for that. Anyone else that wants to chip in, if you want to throw $1 my way, click on the dollar sign below the chat box. Doesn't have to be $1. It can be any currency. YouTube takes all. And just, yeah, send it on over. It would be appreciated. How important are physical looks in general? Friends, relationships, jobs? Um, I mean, physical looks, obviously, like that's kind of like first impression. It's important. But for example, in a job, I don't think it's that important. In a job, when you are around people every single day, people can really get to know you and they start seeing past that physical look. That's when things get deeper and more sincere and more important. I think that's why a lot of people find their partner in the workspace. So it's really only important in the initial meeting, like first impressions, but then like your personality is gonna outshine your physical shell, definitely. I fell in love with a girl one time, like that was not my type at all at the workspace. And just by getting to know her, think about it, guys. When you're with somebody all day, you don't look at them all the time. You see them, you listen to them, you talk to them. You're not constantly like looking at them. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like you see the person, you see the energy, you see the vibe. Does that make sense? I probably did not do a good job wording that, but it is the case. Hello from the UK. Good to see you again. Loving the hair. Thank you. And fuck that dude that says something bad about it. Is meditation something you practice, and do you have any recommendations on how to incorporate it into the hustle and bustle of life? I do. Any tips on how to incorporate it in the hustle and bustle of life? Really set out a set time for it, preferably in the morning when your mind is still at ease. So, or before you go to bed, but really like try to plan it. Structure can greatly help in those things, in those areas. Don't just like try to wing it. It's the same with anything like the gym or physical exercise or diet. Don't just wing it because that's really hard, if not impossible. So get set, do like a set time, and preferably the things that you deem important. You should try to do those as early as you can in the day, so they're out of the way. Because as the day progresses, life gets in the way. You're the greatest of all time, the inversion of Lucifer in the sense of light bringer. Saw the temptation part, except for the odd chat to doctors and the deception, of course. Thank you, man. That is a very profound and highly literal compliment. Pretty complex. I like it. Thank you, man. Any advices to come out of comfort zones? Sign up for shit that you don't want to do. I did that with surfing, and it was the best decision I made the past year. Challenge yourself, man. If something feels good and comfortable, it's not making you grow. I know it sounds like a typical motivational quote, but it's true. So write down 5 things, that you kind of wish you could do, but don't feel, up to doing. And then just roll a dice, and the number that you have, do that one. So put numbers next to them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll the dice, and then you got to do it. All right, guys, 40 minutes in. I'm pretty dead, I'm not gonna lie. Thank you again, man, Tutorial Slave, for the amazing donation. I really appreciate that. I still have another client soon, and I gotta make dinner, and I gotta go to physiotherapy. So I still have a long day ahead. Should we seek friends or seek purpose? Seek purpose, man. Fuck friends. Friends will come with a purpose. What if friends give you purpose? They can't. People can't give you purpose. That's where you go wrong every single time. That's why, like, women are looking for the prince on the white horse. Men are looking for the queen to save them. It's like, no, 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 no. People can never give you purpose. You have to have your purpose, your path. It cannot be that a person is your path, because you're going to build your whole foundation on a person, and then if that person goes away, guess what? Your house crumbles, falls into a ravine. I've seen it happen to so many people so many times. Don't be that guy. Don't attach your entire happiness and meaning of life to a person. It's the worst thing you can possibly do. Trust me. All right, guys. I am out. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Peace.